picked up a lot of interesting things from the coaching staff this week in Texas. We were able to talk to all 8 of them at length. Sip, for you, what I know this is very broad, and I hate when people do this like on a talk show. What was the biggest thing you learned this spring? I mean,
there was a lot. There was a lot of things.
Way to prepare for the show.
Easy, Sean. There was a lot. The thing that stands out, and I'll write about this. I don't mind saying it because I'll just preview the Sunday column. I had no idea on some of this stuff. For instance, Terrence Knighton. We were just talking about his room, Rob, and he said that Jamari Butler is the guy that runs our room. I mean, he's our leader. Okay, yeah, exactly. I was like, really, Jamari Butler? He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, it was after the Michigan game. He and Fedoni they took control of the team.
Interesting.
Fedoni and Jamari Butler. Never would have guessed that. You'd think
maybe Fedoni.
Yeah, maybe Fedoni, but in the defensive line room, you'd say what? Ty
Nash.
Yeah, or Nash. No, Jamari Butler. And he's a player. I mean, he's a guy. He thinks that if he
was the best pass rusher last year.
That's exactly what Terrence Knighton said. He said he could, if he can get 8-9 sacks, he'll be a pro. He's interesting because he uses inside. He goes inside. His move is inside. But Knighton said no inside moves this spring. You're going outside. So that was interesting to me. Even the Fedoni picture was kind of interesting to me. And then the other thing, now I'm not going to say everything that Knighton said about James Williams, but James Williams is absolutely. They are looking at him as one of the best defensive players on the team now.
Defensive players,
yes, not just linemen.
He's not a one-trick pony.
No. He's one of no. He's made a big move, James.
And
Williams.
This is a guy they found at a camp,
at a grad school, as a postgraduate
camp in Lincoln. He had 18 sacks though as a senior in high school, and this guy was a tweener, needed some development. And he's getting that.
Knighton said, just watch the Maryland tape. Not just the Maryland tape, but watch the Maryland tape and watch the tackle for Maryland, which Maryland had good tackles. He said, watch the Maryland tackle when James Williams is in there. He's constantly saying to the ref, am I okay? Can I back up a little further? I need to back up a little more, back up a little more. Yeah. Because Williams was wreaking havoc. So but it's not just pass rusher.
So I was going to say he's developed his game because that was the talk this spring. I think it was Matt Rule or somebody mentioned him as a guy that they wanted to become that every down.
Now he's more of an every down guy. One of the better defenders on the team.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I will say this too. Evan Cooper kind of really ran the show down there. It felt like of those guys. I mean, he's kind of like the face of the recruiting operation.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it does because Rule leans on it.
Yeah, he just write him in.
Yeah, Cooper and Garrett McGuire have a big presence. Garrett because he's from down there,
and Knighton down there too.
They all kind of have the presence in their own way. But those three. Knighton has a big presence, not just because he's a big man, because he's got a lot of personality. But he was probably the most interesting. Satterfield really made no bones at all about the fact. Marcus Satterfield made no bones that they're going to try to get Carter Nelson ready to go. Oh, he's on. I mean, he's definitely on their radar. Right? I mean, you hear some stuff off the record. The off the record stuff is what. Yeah, he's on the radar.
He has. And I was talking to Cody from On3 he's our main evaluator and worked in college football. He said, in my years of evaluating college prospects at the D1 level, I've never seen a guy with the mixture of traits of Carter Nelson.
Yeah, I would just say the best way I could put it without violating anything was he's definitely on Matt Rule's radar. Okay. I mean, you'd say, well, of course he is. He recruited him. Well, yeah, but some guys are more prominent in a coach's thoughts than others. Carter Nelson's prominent in their thoughts. What else?
It's back to work though. Now these coaches have camps and visitors. Friday begins a stretch where they're going to have 7 days of hard camp work over a 10-day period.
Yeah.
And we'll get into all that more in headlines tomorrow. Like
June is ridiculous.
We apologize for messing up your show schedule. Because I mean, when we hear people are like, where's the show? Where's the show? Where's the show? we're going to have to do Thursday, Friday this week.
The last thing I'd say, as far as what we heard from Knighton, for instance, is that Lefatu, Sua Lefatu. Did I get the name right?
Yes.
Most improved player in his room. Made a big jump in the spring. So there's a lot of information. Again, interviews with each of the coach. We haven't even written anything yet. I mean, I wrote something on Cooper, but there'll be more coming in the days.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Like when you get done, you have about 2 hours to work, and it's a hard but like you have days of content.
Yeah, days.
So I've been to camps like this years ago. I remember the Calabasas one we flew out to California to go to, and it was a good event. Lots of talent there. Sean, we were both there. What stood out maybe as similar or different from the way rules staff operated a camp like this compared to what Mike Riley did?
It's just a different era. Like, and Nebraska's in a guest coach role. They're not running the camp at these things. Like they're guest coaches. Like they're very much in the background and they coach and evaluate and help. But it's real similar in that sense. And I'll say this, the satellite camps in general aren't as big as they used to be. Just because recruiting has changed so much.
And so what has changed to make them smaller? Why are they
roster numbers and demands on coaches in the month of June? I mean, everyone's pulling at you in June. You have players arriving back for the OTA workouts.